families across the globe gather around the wireless for this, the life and music of today's purveyors of light entertainment, presented to you through informative international radio broadcast by Britain's own premier purveyor of hot jazz and swinging syncopation. And here he is, the essence of class, sophistication, the airwaves' favourite radio raconteur, leading you in the Jack Calloway Show.
And that was the sound of, dare I say, the hottest band this side of the Atlantic, the 20-piece orchestra, the Bratislava Hot Serenaders. With 46 years of music behind him, 12 albums and over 300 transcriptions, I'm joined by the bandleader of the Bratislava Hot Serenaders and the melody makers. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Juraj Bartos.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for inviting me.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining me. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How are you? Everything okay?
Oh, all the better for having you on the show today. We've been really looking forward to this, both the listeners and all of us at Phonotone Classic. So today we are doing the Juraj Bartos story, your story in music from beginning all the way up to now, and mostly revolving around, as I said, probably the hottest band this side of the Atlantic, the Bratislava Hot Serenaders. So do tell me, so where do we begin with your story?
As you said, it's been 46 years, but if we are talking about my really beginning when I was 7, when I started to play trumpet, and thanks to my brother who still plays trombone in Bratislava Hot Serenaders. Later, maybe when I was 9 or 10, he brought some Louis Armstrong's recordings, and that was it actually. Because since then I just felt in love with jazz music and trumpet, and then later. Again, my brother, he brought another recording of original Prague Syncopated Orchestra, which was a real good orchestra. I think one of the best orchestras in recreation of music of 20s and 30s. And we were at every concert in Bratislava when they came to Bratislava and played concerts. And actually, we met Ondřej Havelka, the frontman and singer, but also Pavel Klikar, who was a trumpet player and piano player in the band and main arranger and of course band leader. And I may say that he was and he is still father of all of traditional jazz musicians in Czechoslovakia, so to say. So we went to Prague, and he recorded quite a few recordings of 20s. We've heard all of them first time in our life. And then I started to transcribing those recordings. And even if I didn't have any musicians, any band around me at that time, but I started to transcribe recordings in advance in case I will meet later some good musicians and we put some band together, which happened then later when I was about 17, 18. And we started to play this music. At the beginning, it was just a revival kind of small group, Dixieland group. But then when I brought the arrangement and I found another musician, especially reed players and violin player, and we changed the rhythm section a little bit. We had our first concert in 1986 with first 10 numbers containing Big Beiderbecke, Mississippi, Big Beiderbecke's Mississippi version, and then some Red Nichols stuff, and Paul Specht stuff, and Louis Armstrong, of course, and so.
When you were just starting out, what was it primarily, other than the original, the Prague Syncopated Orchestra? Was there any other records that you had that really sort of solidly made your decision into coming into this style of music?
Yeah, most of them were recorded at Pavel Klikar's place in Prague, as I said, and we had them on tape, of course. So, because it was not possible to buy any records at that time of this music especially, and jazz music in general. And I'm still really grateful to Pavel that he was so open and friendly, that he spent a lot of time with us talking about that music, recording how they rehearse with the band and so on. So I must say that the most influential recordings at that time were made by Pavel Klikar and originally by Red Nichols, Paul Whiteman, Gene Goldcat, Louis Armstrong, of course, and Jabbo Smith also. Those were quite a few recordings. I still have them on tape recorder and other medias, and I always remember those times when we started with this music.
When you were first beginning with what is now the Bratislava Hot Serenaders, this amazing 20-piece orchestra, sort of what was your first record that you made? How did we get up to this first record?
Yeah, it was a long way because, as I said, we had the first concert in 1986, but my brother, Karol, the trombone player, he found a name for the band, and the first concert under this name was held in 1991. So there will be a 30th anniversary next year of the orchestra using this name and playing under this name. But first recording was made in 1998 because I was sure that we need quite a lot of time to practice and get in style, because syncopated jazz is very different comparing to all of the jazz music which came later. So it was really important for us to transcribe as many arrangements as possible, and of course listen to those recordings, find some more, as many as possible original recordings, and try to find also instruments, which was at the beginning quite difficult. Now it is much easier with eBay and everything, but at the beginning of 90s it was not really that way, and in our countries, of course, there were almost no instruments from those times which could be usable for this kind of music, but we found some, and then we put together quite a solid how to say in English?
A solid outfit.
Yeah, a solid outfit for that. And from the beginning, that it was clear that it will not be a commercially successful in a way to make living on that. So we were quite sure that it will be our hobby forever, and so we concentrated more and more on playing that music than on making money on that. So our first goal was, when we won first prize, which is called Sydney d'Or, in France in 1994. That's a festival in Aix-en-Provence, on the south of France, and there were 52 bands playing this kind of music, and we got the first prize, and that was a first kind of success and international success for the band. But still, I was not sure about recording. So the first CD came out in 1998, and we were recording in 1997 in Slovak radio.
And what we're going to do now, Juraj, is we're going to play one of the tunes from that initial 1998 album, and I think we should start it off hot. So which record would you recommend that we play?
I would love to play Static Strut, which is a compilation, one of the few compilations in our repertoire from two recordings, original recordings. The main recording I was transcribing was done by Paul Specht and his orchestra, but at the time when I was transcribing, we didn't have three clarinets, and he has a beautiful chorus in that arrangement for three clarinets, but because we didn't have them, I borrowed a Louis Armstrong solo, so I play a Louis Armstrong solo instead of three clarinets. But it's a nice one. Static Strut is okay.
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tune your ears in to the Bratislava Hot Serenaders from 1998. Here's Static Strut.
Station CRL!
that was Static Strut for you there, ladies and gentlemen, the Bratislava Hot Serenaders. Now, you don't only play hot music from the 1920s, 30s, and the early 40s. You also play quite a lot of sweet music as well. Let's play another record. Which sweet tune would you like to play from that album?
Maybe we could play a beautiful tune I really like. It's called Down by the River. It's a nice one.
Down by the River. Well, I think our listeners are itching to hear it already. Let's give it a whirl. Down by the River. And that was the Bratislava Hot Serenaders, Down by the River. And now we are going to have a bit of a marathon of Slovak tunes now that Juraj is going to certainly thrive in introducing for you. But we're going to have a quick conversation about how he came across all of these Slovak tunes, which to listeners, say, from the UK and the US, we primarily hear music from the UK and the US, occasionally France, occasionally Germany during this time. But Poland, Russia, Czechoslovakia is sort of unheard of in the jazz age. So how did you come across all of these records?
It was really difficult to buy Western recordings, Western music when I was young and during the communist era. But it was possible to go to antique shop and buy old shellac records containing music from 30s and 40s, Slovak mainly, or Czech. And so I started to collect those records, of course, and I found many of them really interesting, and I've actually started to admire also not only musicians but also arrangers and composers and lyricists too. I decided that it would be nice if Bratislava Hot Serenaders play also Slovak songs because they, as you said, they are not known abroad, and they didn't have any chance even to be popular abroad. So it would be interesting for listeners too to listen to music which comes from 30s but was never played in Western countries especially.
And they are such wonderful melodies as well. So tell me about this first tune that we're going to play, which I won't embarrass myself in trying to pronounce, but it is one of my absolute favorites.
It's actually a tango. Tango was very popular here, and I think in Europe in general in 30s. And in Slovakia there were few composers, but one of them, Gejza Dusík, he was really first Slovak hitmaker, so to say, and he wrote many beautiful songs and quite a few tangos also. And this is a tango which is called Také nekonečne krásna je pre mňa tvoja láska, which means in English something like, so endlessly beautiful is your love for me.
Well, let's take a listen to it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bratislava Hot Serenaders, So Endlessly Beautiful.
Keď sa do neba dívam, vidím tam obraz tvoj. A vždy, keď večer usínam, tak často spomínam, že si osud môj. Úprimnej tvojej lásky, to tiché vyznanie. Sťa pieseň letí nado mnou a hudbou čarovnou v duši mojej znie. Tak nekonečne krásna je pre mňa tvoja láska, že keď som s tebou sám, smútok a žiaľ už nepoznám. Možno sa len zahrávaš, keď lásky sľub mi dávaš, i tak ti ďakujem za tento krásny sen. Ku šťastiu iné mi netreba, šťastný som, keď teba mám. A všetku svoju nádej do rúk tvojich vkladám. Tak nekonečne krásna je pre mňa tvoja láska, že nič už nehľadám, keď tvoju lásku mám.
Tak nekonečne krásna je pre mňa tvoja láska, že keď som s tebou sám, smútok a žiaľ už nepoznám. Možno sa len zahrávaš, keď lásky sľub mi dávaš, i tak ti ďakujem za tento krásny sen.
Ku šťastiu iné mi netreba, šťastný som, keď teba mám. A všetku svoju nádej do rúk tvojich vkladám. Tak nekonečne krásna je pre mňa tvoja láska, že nič už nehľadám, keď tvoju lásku mám.
That was So Endlessly Beautiful by the Bratislava Hot Serenaders. And now we have a real treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. A tune which was never actually recorded, I've been informed, of the time. So, Juraj, tell me more about this next tune.
This was a very popular tune in Slovakia, kind of folk melody. They were dancing a special dance. They called it Čardáš Fox, which is a fusion in between folk dance, Hungarian folk dance, which is called Čardáš, and foxtrot, of course. So they called it Čardáš Fox. And it's called Ancha Ancha, which means Hana Hana or An. It's about the girl. She loves to dance, and she dances all night long. And then her boyfriend came to her and promised her something. And the band is asking, you will hear in Slovak, čo, which means what. We always ask, what did he say to her? Because she's crying at the end, and so, and you know, and it's never said, but everybody knows what it was about. But it's quite funny lyrics, funny song, and as you said, it was never recorded in this way. I rearranged the song in, so to say, in McKinney's Cotton Pickers way.
Anča, Hana, si akási uplakaná, iste sa ti niečo stalo, čo sa veru stať nemalo. Anča, Hana, tancovala si do rána, šuhaj sľuboval ti cestou, že sa mu staneš nevestou. Muzika ti krásne hrala, zdalo sa ti, že je to len sen. Srdce si pretancovala, prišla z domov, už bol biely deň. Anča, ty si švárna deva, každý dnes o tebe spieva. Vrabci z toho radosť majú, len o tebe čvíríkajú. Anči srdce pokojne dá s tou vernení reč, láskou jej hneď planú oči. Len čo v krčme basa vrzne, už je z domu preč, s milým sa hneď v kole točí. Anča, Hana, si akási uplakaná, iste sa ti niečo stalo, čo sa veru stať nemalo. Anča, Hana, tancovala si do rána, šuhaj sľuboval ti cestou, že sa mu staneš nevestou. Muzika ti krásne hrala, zdalo sa ti, že je to len sen. Srdce si pretancovala, prišla z domov, už bol biely deň. Anča, ty si švárna deva, každý dnes o tebe spieva. Vrabci z toho radosť majú, len o tebe čvíríkajú.
And that was the Bratislava Hot Serenaders in Ancha. Now we're going to go to another sweet tune, one that they play quite often, or one of the longer tunes that they've been playing during their touring careers. This one is called Saigon. Juraj, tell me more about this amazing melody.
Yeah, this is a beautiful melody from operetta, written again by our first hitmaker, Géza Dusík. He wrote quite a few operettas, and he was very popular as a composer in our country in 30s and 40s especially. And this comes from operetta, which is called Pod cudzou vlajkou, under the foreign flag or something like that. You know, about the French army and colonial army and things like that. Therefore, it's about Saigon, where the soldier is serving, and he's singing about Saigon, which is a beautiful city, but his love is back in his homeland. So it's kind of homesick tune.
Let's take a listen to it. Here is the Bratislava Hot Serenaders in Saigon.
Saigon, a nad nim zmiera už deň. Sní v objatí tichých vln, nemýčom svoj tajný sen. Zún vzdialených spomienok, šum mora šepce tvoj. Vdiaľ srdce moje vábi, ktoré žiali zabilo.
Saigon, ty prístav krásnych žien, Saigon, ty klamnej lásky sen, očú snivých a nocí opojných. Saigon, ty prístav úsmevov, Saigon, ty mesto vábnych snov, nad tebou plán na 1000 zlatých hviezd. Však moje srdce blúdi niekde za morom, keď aj všetko mám tu v kraji tak cudzom. Saigon, ty prístav krásnych žien, Saigon, ty klamnej lásky sen, nad tebou plán na 1000 zlatých hviezd. Tak cudzom. Saigon, ty prístav krásnych žien, Saigon, ty klamnej lásky sen, nad tebou plán na 1000 zlatých hviezd.
And that was the Bratislava Hot Serenaders in Saigon. Now, tell me, Juraj, the Bratislava Hot Serenaders are now, dare I say it, world famous. You're touring all over the world, and to be honest, I'd be surprised if there is a jazz musician out there that doesn't know the Bratislava Hot Serenaders. So how did we get to this point?
To be honest, I don't know exactly, but I think that the main reason was that we never think about popularity and commercial success and things like that. I'm not talking that we are commercially successful, because band which is so big and plays the music which is beautiful, but it's not real mainstream, so to say.
Yeah.
It's not about the commercial success. If we are known among the circles which are concentrated on this music, we are very happy. But it's for us a side effect, and of course a big satisfaction. I think the biggest satisfaction for us, if people who love that music, the same music as we play and we love to play, like how we do that, and come to our concerts. That's the biggest satisfaction we can have. So we never thought about being world famous or something like that, so to say. But for us, it's a big satisfaction, and we appreciate that very much. How this happened? Of course, we rehearse almost 30 years every Monday. So it's not very much, but it's a work which has never stopped. And we always try to play as authentic way as possible, use authentic instruments, and all this together makes it maybe interesting for people, you know. And also I have to say that we have quite a stable orchestra. We don't use substitutes. If we use them, it's an exception, not a rule. So there are the same musicians for years, and we work on the same topic all the time to play as much as possible authentic syncopated jazz from 20s and 30s.
So you've definitely become a jazz family as such.
Yes, so to say, yes.
Yeah. And I think a great example of how close-knit you all are in your music is in this next record, which I think loads of people would have seen on YouTube, your version of the Cotton Club Stomp, but this isn't that version. This is a different take of it. This is actually the take B of the Cotton Club Stomp. Tell me a little bit about this tune. This
is a tune we found thanks to a movie which is called Cotton Club. Of course, many of listeners know that movie with Richard Gere, and there is quite a lot of Duke Ellington's music recorded, and we found this tune there, but of course it's transcription of the original recording. And this tune is from the CD we dedicated exclusively to one of the greatest orchestras of jazz history. I'm talking about Duke Ellington and his orchestra. And this is one of the finest examples of late 20s hot jazz music recorded originally by Duke Ellington.
that was the B-side of the Cotton Club Stomp by the Bratislava Serenaders. And now, Juraj, you're going to tell me about a fantastic album that you've dedicated entirely to Paul Whiteman.
Yeah, that's the album which is called Lonely Melody. And we wanted to play Paul Whiteman stuff for many reasons. One of them was that beautiful musicians, great musicians playing in a band, and of course great arrangers and composers involved in that project of Paul Whiteman's orchestra. So, and we wanted to record also Rhapsody in Blue because it's very, in my opinion, very important composition, and it was dedicated to the Paul Whiteman Orchestra. So it's also on the CD. But we would like to maybe play another tune because Rhapsody in Blue is quite long.
Did you do the full 18-minute version?
Yes, so that's the full version. I rearranged it a little bit because we have a smaller setting, of course, than Paul Whiteman had, but we tried to keep the sound as much as possible. Hopefully.
I can only imagine how many sides of vinyl it would have taken up if you had done the full album plus Rhapsody in Blue, the full 18-minute version.
Yeah.
So which tune shall we play from that album?
Maybe we could play the title Lonely Melody, which is the title of the CD.
Lonely Melody, a great choice of song. And now for you, the listeners, ladies and gentlemen, here's the Bratislava Hot Serenaders in Lonely Melody. And that was Lonely Melody by the Bratislava Hot Serenaders. And I understand that you have a more recent album out, Juraj.
Yeah, the latest one is called I Like That, and this one was actually dedicated to another great orchestra of 20s led by Gene Goldcat, one of our favorite band leaders. Again, with beautiful, great musicians on the recording, on the original records, and also a wonderful arrangers, like Don Redman or Bill Chellis. So it's in my opinion, one of the most collectible CDs. If I'm not talking about Slovak CDs, because they are quite interesting for listeners from US or UK. But this is one of the most significant music of 20s, in my opinion. And one of those we introduced on one of our tour in United Kingdom, and maybe that's also a reason why I'm talking about that, because I have a beautiful memories on those tours we had in United Kingdom. I think we should play one of the most popular numbers and very popular hits of 20s, which is called My Blackbirds Are Bluebirds Now.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. My blackbirds are bluebirds now.
I sing a song because nothing's wrong. My blackbirds are bluebirds now. Bad luck's gone on his way. Good luck had to come back to stay. My blackbirds are bluebirds now. Told the little whippoorwill, told the breeze a daffodil, told the preacher on the hill, wedding Sunday, honeymoon's Monday, yes sirree, life's worthwhile. Look at me with a great big smile. My blackbirds are bluebirds now.
And that was My Blackbirds Are Bluebirds Now by the Bratislava Hot Serenaders. And as we come to the end of our show, Juraj, what advice would you give for band leaders and musicians just starting out, not only in music, but more especially in this particular style of music?
Yeah. In my situation, it's quite special because we don't have a scene of that music here. Maybe in the States or in the United Kingdom, there for sure are many musicians who love to play this music. But anyway, in my opinion, working with two orchestras now, because I'm talking about Bratislava Serenaders and Melody Makers, Ondřej Havelka's Melody Makers in Prague. If you want to be band leader, you have to be patient as much as possible, first of all. Second, in my opinion, it's more important to put together a bunch of people who are really keen on that music. They won't really play authentic instruments. They forget about any kind of other music, other styles when they play this music. And they like to be together. They like to play that music together, and they are happy if it happens. And last but not least, please listen to the original recordings as much as possible and try to analyze and transcribe. Don't use stock arrangements, because then you don't dive into that music as you should, because stock arrangements are different than if you transcribe whole recordings or recording note by note and then try to play it with your band. That would be all. That's enough, I guess.
Ah, brilliant. And listeners, if you want to find out more about the Bratislava Hot Serenaders, visit www.serenaders.sk, where you can buy any of their CDs. They're also available on Spotify and Apple Music. And you can also check them out on YouTube. Thank you so much, Juraj, for joining me today.
It was a pleasure, and I wish you all enjoy the music and happy listening.
Thank you very much. So, listeners, whether it is good morning, good day, good evening, or good night, you have been listening to the Jack Calloway Show on Phonotone Classic, broadcasting to you every Sunday at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
I got those happy feet, give them a load on beat, and they begin dancing. I got those, their little tapping toes, and when they hear a tune, I can't control my dancing heels, save my soul, weary blues, can't get into my shoes, because my shoes refuse to have a girl wearing. I keep cheerful on an airflow of music sweet, 'cause I got those happy,